wonder if we're gonna start having to fire people, meaning the people that's just taking up space. I like people.
I don't like to be a hoarder when it comes to anything. I've noticed that. But you know what? Actually, I take this back. I only like to hoard things that, like specific things. For instance, cameras. I'll hoard them all day. But I also have a tendency that if someone's like, by the way, not sponsored, but Mike and Ikes.
Ooh, the sour one had me feeling some kind of way just now.
Mike and Ike Mega Mix Sour. There's like 10 flavors.
Ooh.
I think there's like,
yes, I need them in my life.
How many? There's like 5 left. You can have them. But yeah, I like to give a lot. And there's so many things I wish I could do. Like there's so many artists I want to support. There's so many like subscriptions of theirs that I want to like get into. There's so many things I want to buy, and every single time there's always something that gets in the way. And at first I was like, maybe I just need to start like projecting my resources in different ways. But no, it's not that. But I do love to collect things. I found that like I want to get back into collecting, but again, resources. But yeah, I feel you. I think that because I don't want to take up space in someone's life. I don't want them to do it on mine either. You take up space, you're doing us both a misservice or disservice, not misservice. Low-key mostly us, because like mostly the person that you're under, because like they can't really fill that gap, and you're filling a space and creating a gap at the same time. That's worse than just having a gap, because at least it can be filled. When there's a gap and it's filled and you're like, how? It's like when you fill up a hole with a leak and it's still leaking and you're like, why are you even here? What did I just do? Why?
Cut that piece out. Put it together. Tight a seal. Eliminate the cancer.
Yeah.
Eliminate the hole. Can't be repaired. It's going to be there. But it's going to take too much resources to fill that.
Because the product can work somewhere else.
I'm just about to say that.
Like duct tape. Like I wouldn't, like if I tried to use duct tape to plug a leak, it'd probably work for the first like minute or two. But after a while, the adhesive would start to get a little, it'd start to wear. And then the leak would start coming back. And it's like, so do I leave the leak?
Definitely better serve someplace else.
Yeah, it's like, there's so many other places.
Better serve someplace else.
And so it's like, do you really want to stick around because of who's like you're under? Because I wouldn't say, because there's like people always say there's always better. I'm like, yeah, okay, there's like we've heard it before, but I mean, even weirder, like sometimes better isn't always the best.
No.
Sometimes you
definitely.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be in what's right, what's good.
What popped in my head? All money ain't good money.
Yeah.
That's not even proper English, but it makes so much sense.
It does. It really does. So
you think what's proper?
Because English isn't phonetic. English isn't a lot of things. But
yes,
I think I got to start.
Life lesson.
I got to start removing things internally and externally, and start figuring out like what really needs to stay. Which I usually hear it a lot when I'm talking like with my friends, and we're talking about like God kind of giving that push to make space. And sometimes we don't know what we need to get rid of, and sometimes we know what we need to get rid of, but we're like, I want to keep that around. Especially when this is my favorite. Everyone, I won't say everyone. If you have a group of friends, you guys like to go out often, everyone has this friend. It's that one toxic friend that just either always goes overboard or they just always are so extra, but they're so fun to be around. And it's like, in your heart, it's like, I have to cut them off. I have to. But they're so enjoyable to be around that you're just like, I don't think I can. Like, I don't want to.
Yo, you know what's worse? Worse than that. It's probably the worst of all. When you have a family member that you love that much, and they not good for you.
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Yes. You know they not good for you. But that's a whole nother segment.
It is
real. But yeah. Knowing when to say when.
Yeah.
Knowing when to be like, okay, enough is enough. I'm being honest with yourself to say, what I realized about myself, some of the things that made me upset about things that were near and dear, I was an enabler. Big time. Not to everybody, certain people, but I was. And to when you take that away from someone, man, that's like they think you trying to hurt them, trying to do something, and it's not about. And you really find out how, at the time, you really find out how selfish you think they are, because in all actuality, it's both of you, and then you got to get to a point where you can't take responsibility for their actions once you put it out there. Mm-hmm. You both know, come on, and then, oh yeah, those. He surfboarded him.
I did. I was like,
nothing's in the way. Nothing's in the pool.
I was like, please say block. Dang.
So, yeah, definitely we got to get some of them on stat.
Yes,
stat.
I think
the Dollar Tree is gonna get but they have a Dollar General.
That Dollar General up the street. Yeah. If they ain't got these, I'm about to just.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to write them off as being not your local store. Anyway. Yeah, just I got on the tangent about my Mike and Ike Mega Sours. The Mega Sours puts it in there. That's what make it. Cause I'm a Jolly Joe fan, or hot tamales. I do like those. I'm a cinnamon guy, but Mike and Ike's whatever sour. Remember the sour ones that had the coating on the outside?
Yeah,
they were Sours. Favorites. They give them a run for their money.
Sour Skittles, not gonna lie, they've been consistent in their sourness, because like I'll have like. And sometimes I know I'll have them too much when they stop. They go from being sour to like, I can't really taste anything.
Yeah,
it just tastes
sweet.
Yep. And so I'm like, I don't know if my taste buds are just getting fizzled out.
Yes.
But Sour Skittles always, like the first time when you come back to them, they always hit heavy. I'm like, dang, these are like,
you be like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't remember these being sour. And then you're like, okay, I can remember.
That's how Sours do me. Yes. And I haven't had them in a while. And when I see some, I buy like 3 boxes, and then the first box ain't got a chance. Well, no, let me take that back. The second box ain't got a chance. The first box, I'm trying to get my warhead face together. I remember, I don't know what I was doing, but I was hungry. Wrong time. Definitely wrong time. Look, my whole mouth drew up so bad. At one point in time, I think I was drooling down one side of my mouth. You know how you can't swallow. I think I like had to pull over and get a napkin. I'm in the front seat. My hands all moist. It's bad. It's bad out there.
Your nervous system just can't take it.
It's locked up all the way.
Everything just stops working slowly. You just start to slowly just digress. And
I'm like, oh.
I've never
Like,
felt my
help me,
mouth
Rhonda.
like I've
Hold on, I'll be
never
right back.
known the experience of what it feels like to see my mouth go into quicksand mode.
Yes.
And then I'm like, yo, what's going on? Or like the worst when like you eat, like I remember I think I went through like 1 or 2 bags of Sour Patch Kids in the span of like a week.
Ooh.
I don't know. It was a big one. It was like a lot. It was a lot. And I was like, I don't think I should keep doing this because everything I eat hurts. Everything I bite hurts. And it doesn't feel right. But that was our candy tangent for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like honestly, when you talk about like enablers and you talk about like firing people, like I used to be um fearful of letting people go until I was like, well, the thing is that I think it's one thing not to know that you're not performing well. It's another thing to be aware of it and then still kind of do nothing. Or like even effort. Like if I see effort and you're like, I'm trying my hardest, I'm like, okay. Sometimes you kind of have to let them go because you're like, all right, like I'm gonna be honest, like you're not gonna make it. But other times it's like, okay, so in all honesty, you're kind of not gonna make it, but I think that you'll do fine. You'll get there one day. It's a slow climb, but I told someone, I said, if you get 1%, um, we're breaking bread today.
Yes.
It's the first time there's been food on this podcast.
Yes.
But it's like if you make 1% progression per day, by the middle of the year, you'll already complete what you're after. If you make 0.5%, because I was I said if you make 0.5%, 200 days, and you'll be there. So even less, you're still doing less than a year. And so I was like, even slow progress is good progress because I forget how quickly the year starts to come. And that's why I started doing investments more because I was like, I need to start doing investments more than just like because of the fact that, and I learned this because of, honestly, because of credit. And it was like how quickly the months would go by. And I'm like, wow, these are really quick. Like, and that's how they, because people lose track of time easily because things happen so quickly. And now I'm like, life is so much more about investments than it is about like quick purchases and stuff. Like, that's why it's better to buy stock in the bubble gum that you buy rather than always buying the bubble gum and then being sad that it's running out. That's why Costco is great.
I'm telling you, that is definitely the mouthful right there. Investing in, and I learned how to invest in people.
Mm-hmm.
I always say I don't want your like when you got to cut somebody off. I don't want me to want your dream more than you. If I want your dream more than you, then you're doing something wrong. Well, I'm definitely doing something wrong because it's my dream.
Yeah, I was like, it's not my dream anymore.
Exactly. So, no way. There's a lot of people that think and say and do, and well, I shouldn't say do because that's the part they never get to. Where's my napkins? Oh,
yeah, because I was like, this one ain't coming apart like I wanted it to. So it's Savage Knee Black time.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Meat and potatoes.
I miss that boy. I do. I was telling someone the other day, I was like, man, I miss my little brother so much.
Meat and potatoes.
It's so different when I don't wake up and he's randomly in the corner of my room looking at me. I'm like, how did you even get in here?
I move like a ninja.
He does. He's like, I was actually telling Keisha, I was like, Carson might latch on to me like glue. But Jace, that's my shadow. I always know he is somewhere near.
If you in the house, he in wherever room you in. That's why I'm so surprised when he not in somewhere with you because I go to your room first and then I'm like, well, okay, where you at then?
Yeah, I'm like, It's funny because you have the same level of shock every single time. You're like, where you at?
I'm like, ain't here? Okay. I'm confused. So it was a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't want your dream more than you. I will help you. And I don't want you to have I don't want you to think you want my dream more than me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause the same level is okay. Hard to deal with, but I know it can exist because I had to realize that whatever Toya and your mom were doing, they loved you at least as much as I thought I did, or they thought I did anyway. But they know by my actions and moving through life that they know I love you as much as your mom do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you are mine as well as them. And that's why I can even stomach the fact that somebody can, yes, you can possibly want my dream as much as I do, but you can't want it more.
No, never.
Can't want it more.
Ooh.
Always want to invest. Invest in yourself.
Yes.
Definitely. Go.
Almost forgot. Okay, so this is where, okay, and now at this specific point, I'm going to fade into the next part, and this is why. So, guys, welcome to the Breakers of Bread podcast. I am your host, Detavius the Black, aka that boy Knee Black, and I am also with the other co-host,
Jay Wilkins, aka Jonathan, most of the time by my government name. Yeah, these intros are definitely just gonna come random in the show. Okay.
I forget every time. Every time. I need to have a sticky note on my laptop that says, do the intro first.
Yes.
Because every time I'm like, what did I not? Oh, the intro. So that is why at this point in time, you're listening to this at the 17th minute and 40-second mark. And not only that,
we done broke bread.
Yeah, we done ate and everything. And so, but this will probably be at the top. But where you're listening, this was at the 17:40-second mark. But where we're putting
awesomeness, I love it.
So, and now back to your regularly scheduled into your regularly scheduled program. Okay, now you're back, fading into this part. I love the art of editing and the magic that happens on the MacBook, because editing changed my life. I found out that they had to like cut the frames and put them and stitch them together. When I found out that's how they made films, I was like, God, thank you for putting me in the generation that had computers, because sitting there for an entire maybe month just stitching things together, and then someone's like, I don't like that scene, we need to put it over here. I'd be like, bro, you can do this yourself. Like, you can straight up do this yourself. Nah. So now I know why they call it cuts, because they actually cut it. Because I thought I was like, oh, it's cutting because you're cutting, but no, they actually cut the frame. And then I was like, yo, wow, that's wild. So yeah, they call them cuts because that's how it happened. But yeah, back to like what you were saying about dreams and wanting them more and stuff like that, because we love dreams. We got a lot of dreams.
Investing in yourself is one of the best ways to invest in other people also. I can't stress that enough. Networking, because I think that's all tied in together. Networking is investing in yourself, because you spending your time trying to get to know these other people, worthless or otherwise. The lesson in that is you get to, even though it's not a lot of gems out there that you may find, and some people may, you might find some, you might go out 10 times out of 10 and find 10 gems.
Yeah.
Somebody might go out and 9 times out of 9 they find a rock, a pebble, if at best,
fool's gold.
Yes, and then that 10th one is a hit. So just investing in networking or going to network is investing in yourself and in your time and taking the time to learn other people. And then it's flipping and you may be able to invest in someone else.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about networking, because you're meeting people like-minded or not. Same path. Might not be like-minded, I should say, same path. Man, that's amazing to get somebody to be able to do, because what if you didn't, how you're talking about the actual cuts? You know what I mean? Maybe it's somebody who actually likes to do that.
Yeah.
They are the editing guru, Shmi, if you will, of editing. That's who you want on your team. Like, I want to be in, and this is the thing, you might be the one of the front runners. And this is where the networking and investing in your people goes hand in hand and goes a little bit step further. That editor, just so to sake of argument, was just editing. And I'm by no means am I not saying he carries a heavy load, but he ain't doing none of the heavy lifting or the initial. He coming in on the back end, you know what I'm saying? But to invest in that editor, say every editor of that quality gets monetarily speaking, like 20,000 per film. You come out and before, because this your people, this what you network. He trying to network and love it, and he gonna just need bigger projects. You come in and pay him 20 grand over whatever, or you make him a partner, or make him get him part of the lion's share. He making more than every editor out there, and then you blow up. He blow up. He's your editor, and he made these films look good. Your name is on the front. Like, everybody know the director.
Everyone.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who holding the boom? You know what I mean? So definitely investing in your people and investing in people like that. I think Quentin Tarantino runs a camp kind of like that. Like, he really, as I hear, it's only rumored that, but as I hear, he takes care of his crew. Make sure they okay. And you know what I mean? Even when he was doing Django, like, a lot of the things that was going on was, I mean, you might be out there, but you actually saying these things and being convincing. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You call me a nigga too many times. I don't care if we are in a movie. I'm gonna think you serious. If there's something might click and happen. Like, so I really appreciate that it was even a talk of that. If I never set eyes on it, I'm not sure if it's true or not, or what the trueness of it is. But the conversation has been put out there.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't happen there, it's still in the world.
I found investing in people who invest in themselves are the best investments you can make, because you never want to invest in someone who doesn't invest in themselves, or even someone who would rather just invest in others, because it almost seems like, not that they view what they do as uninvesting worthy or whatnot, but it's like even now, like I'm doing a lot more investing in myself, because when people invest in me, I want them to know that their investments are not going in vain. And when I invest in myself, I know what to look for. Or when I invest in other people, I know what to look for, because of the fact that, like, in a sense, I've been investing in myself for a while. I know what to look for when investing in someone who also, does that. And so, yeah, I think that when you're looking for someone to invest in, always see how they invest in themselves, see if they invest in themselves, and see, like, how and where they're investing themselves in and whatnot. because of the fact that put this over here. Because a lot of people and some people just don't even invest. Like they don't invest in others, they don't invest in themselves, and they, as I call it, they survive. There's I wouldn't even say that. They just exist
Mm,
because
that's even worse.
there's existing, surviving, and then there's living. And everyone wants to live. Some people are surviving, and then other people are just existing. That's what makes me the most upset. I can understand surviving. It's a tough world. When you just exist and you want to exist, it's like,
Mm,
fam, why? Like, why? It's not even a like, why are you here? Because you don't know, because you're existing. It's more so like, and if you do know, oh, that's even worse. But it's like it it puts us like this blockade on a lot of things of potential for not just you but other people because people forget how connected to everything they are. Like how you can meet someone like I ran into someone I think 3 or 4 years ago at this lion dance festival, and then I became friends with her really good friend this year that I met at this social event. And it was the most random thing because then I think I either brought her up or something like that. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, you know so and so?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like I met at Eliza's, I met her at a festival. It's like, "Oh my gosh, like we're like super good friends." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And so, it's like that. Like, how would that even? It's just
you like what?
luck of the draw, And it's like, but imagine if one of these two people never really invested in themselves. They would have probably never even met, or I would have never met one of them, or just different things like that. So it's like,
Gotcha.
there's levels to how like what happens, and people forget that. Like even now, I'm like, yo, I know I need to get right because someone's in a sense going to rely on me for some information that's going to be vital to their success.
Yes.
And as much as I hate to say that, like sometimes the success of one depends on the success of another. It does. It's like if you're going to put in a word for someone, you know their success kind of determines whether or not you will even come up, because if they're not that successful, their word means little to nothing. But if they're pretty successful, they know what to look for. And so it's like, even if the person coming up doesn't do the best job, at least they've seen enough experience from this person to know, well, they probably made the decision based off of some type of good element, and they just didn't perform like
Yeah.
they should have. But this person is still a trustworthy person, because we've seen what they do and what they look
Yep.
for. So it's like, but yeah, I think now, like, I'm more so into investing in myself and also investing in the people who invest in themselves well. And so it's definitely, it's not, I wouldn't say hard to kind of like to see it. I would say it takes practice, but it also, you have to
Definitely.
do it yourself
Definitely.
first.
Yo, that's
Because if you're not good at investing in yourself, what are you going to look for when you see other people? Because you're going to think it's like, oh my god, that person, like, they're taking like vacations all the time, da, da, da. And it's like, oh my gosh, they must be investing in themselves so well. It's like, no, they're miserable. They're very miserable. And you just don't see it. But you would see that if you invested in yourself. Not to say that people who
yes.
are always on vacation
No,
are
no,
are
no, no.
not,
Yes.
but it's just some people are really great at masking and hiding
Yes.
things that they would not want to project. But which, you don't have to project everything. But yeah, you know.
Definitely.
But I'm looking at this article about pink and blue. The article that
Oh,
we were talking
yes.
about. I'll
Definitely.
bring that up later because it's a very interesting thing, and it's just wild.
So, um, investing in oneself and investing in others.
Mm-hmm.
So, my investing in oneself and investing in others led me to I it's almost as I got here in this in recently, and not recently, the last 5 years, failure to launch, failure to follow through is what I ran into a lot. Whether it be me, whether it be another person, however it looked, we just couldn't get. the thing off the ground. Whatever it was, it's been a few things. And that's why I realized that I can't do all the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think if somebody is, then bless their heart. I am not.
Yeah.
I know I can't do it by myself. So within my um investments and everything like that, I had to learn how to invest in myself properly, learn how to invest in other people properly. And within that, I just came up with what was the safest for me right now. I'm doing the safest thing I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's and the when I think about it like that, it's like because I'm getting older and I don't have that care fancy free type thing to it's more of a time thing. Um and I don't want to, and I'm having fun with my investments. But investing in you guys, that's I know what I'm looking for, exactly what I'm looking for, and then the things that I'm looking for, my kids possess that.
Yeah.
So it's easy to, for me right now, it's easy to, um, lack of a better term, cater to that.
Yeah.
It's a seamless thing. Hey, you want to do a podcast? Yeah, come on, let's go.
Let's run it.
Yeah, let's go. Because it's not gonna be hard. It's not gonna be a warm up. I'm not gonna have to figure out how your day was and what kind of attitude you got, what you want to talk about.
Yeah. There's
I
always
don't
something.
care. Make a decision. You want to do this or do this? We can do both. Okay. What we want to talk about? We'll figure it out. Okay.
We'll
You
wing
know what
it.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's not saying that we shouldn't have a plan but I think our plan, I'm investing in the fact that you'll make up a plan and I'll get to do what's natural. Now I know when I go back to my 9 to 5, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I want to hone on this skill of being able to do this while I have something paying the bills, which will eventually turn into a pension, which will help pay the bills for the rest of my life at least. So just that's an investment in that sense. And that's I guess as I get older what would make sense. But it might not make sense to a younger person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might not. You might younger person or somebody in a different field might think I'm mean, or you know what I mean, or whatever it is. I wouldn't do that. You got your son doing everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, okay.
Well, but you don't know what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
How about you ain't gonna want my effing help? Like move. I know you're trying to help. I love you, but move, please.
It's like, why's he got to set up everything?
Yeah, like
Then he has to make the subjects, and then he has to mix everything and edit.
I'm like, and some people want to help.
Yeah.
Some people, I don't want your help, but I don't want to be mean in saying that because they really feel like they helping.
Yeah, it's like,
but I mean, but that might be mine. So you know what I mean. So I don't know. I know how I feel doing and getting my cues of what you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you do tear down and set up for a year or however long, and that was one of the best parts of the whole thing, and it take longer than the thing itself, well, you gotta kind of like that because you ain't complaining. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
just learning how to invest in and use my time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you doing this, I know I have time to do my other things to get myself set up to come in and do what I'm supposed to be doing. My part.
Yeah.
My part ain't that. But I don't have to kind of teach that or moves. So it's just invest in my children.
Yeah.
It made my job of investing easy. People might call it lazy.
It's like, man, they do all the chores around the house.
Yeah,
it's like, honestly though, man, I could not tell you how different it is, like going other places, or just even like when you're gone. Like, of course, like we slip up sometimes. We don't but I like some. I'm like, dang, what? I was like, oh yeah, we're still kids, okay. But like, it's so funny seeing how clean this house is, but still how much you're like, no, there's still a level, and I'm like, But then I'll go other places and I'm like,
Ooh, I don't want nothing from in here.
like I will stick to my chores for the rest of
Yes,
my life.
yes,
And you're like,
yes,
dang,
yes,
like, and it's
yes.
you take it,
How quickly things get out of hand.
yeah,
You like wait, it was just one like for instance, it could be one bag of trash or one thing, and then all of a sudden it's a stockpile, and you be like, whoa,
like where'd this come from?
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's nobody, no, it's nobody fault if I never taught you that,
Yeah,
taught you the value of that. Because I know in here sometimes I get crazy, but I know where I came from and I know what I want y'all to look at and
hmm,
how I want to live. And I know what y'all gonna eventually run into.
yeah, and it's
You run into somebody, you could be some way, and then somebody get on to you about something, and then you see it someplace else. And you'd be like, ooh, never mind. I gotta take that
yeah. I was
because
like,
it's
oh no,
no way I want to live like this
yeah,
with that attitude. Cause it's no sense of urgency for that situation.
yeah,
But then you see, you know what the thing is, and this is the what I see in my mind. Like you spill something, it's clearly you could have got back to it eventually, but you didn't do it right then. It didn't make a stain, it didn't do anything. It's just there. So you know somebody spilled it, you know it's there, you seen it, and then all of a sudden you go back to the same place of the house like a week or whatever later, and it's still there. You be like, fam, we was right here. It was no reason you had to do something, forgot about it. You ain't come back here since I've been here. It's still here
in the same spot.
in the same spot. It's not a
Unmoved.
yes. You be like, oh,
It,
I'm good.
it doesn't have any signs of like, I was like, maybe if I, it's like, oh, well, that's not working. It's like, no, there's no signs of any struggle, any effort. It's just, it's
Great person too. Great person. You be like,
ah. So yeah,
so
it's
yes, it's
principle. But oh, I was thinking of this while when in the beginning when we were talking about investments, but I was thinking, I was like, there is a very big difference. And I think that I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt that people know that there is a difference between cutting things off too soon and cutting things off early. Don't cut things off too soon. Always cut things off early because I could see some weeds in the back and they're coming. And I'm like, I'm going to just go ahead and cut that off early. But then I might see weeds when it's actually like a flower or something like that or something just
yes,
natural.
yes,
And then I cut it off, too soon. And now it's like, it just won't grow. And so it's like some people, they cut good things off too soon and they don't cut toxic things off early. And then they wonder how things got to where they
so
are.
yes,
And this isn't just friends because I know everyone
yes,
instantly thinks friends, and I'm like, no, no,
no,
no.
no,
Because even now, like I'm in the process of figuring out how to better save money, like how to like where, because like the my two issues is that I am an opportunist when it comes to anything that could potentially progress me further, but I also do not have like the biggest plethora of resources. But I'm still learning a lot about like what does it mean to save? Like how do you even save? Like how do you invest and save at the same time? And so it's like it's weird, especially with the diets in this house and just the different things that we're doing. And it's like,
yes,
okay. But there's different things to it. And so for me, it's like what would be I need to cut off early the art of I'll call it the art of spending. But I don't need to cut off investments or too soon because if I cut that off too soon, then maybe I'll be sitting on like 30 grand and I'm like, I don't really want to like buy that. Even though it's a grand and it's like,
exactly.
come on, bro. But Jay-Z said something. He said, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And I was like, whoo, that's true. And ever since then, I started thinking about that. And I'm like, man, that sucks. Because there's a lot of things that I want. And it's like, well, I can buy that. And it's like, it's 50, but you only got 70. You can't afford that. And it's like, ooh, you're right. You're right. You were so right. It's a lot of things I cannot afford, but I want to buy. And I'm like, if I can't buy it twice, because you think it's like, oh, it's just twice, but
That is a awesome. I don't even think I've ever heard that from Jay.
yeah.
That is the best. That is one of the man. You know how you have a prolific moment?
That was
That's
a
what it looked
prolific
like.
moment.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Cause I look at a lot of things that I get that I want, and and the reason why it hit me so hard just now because it's things that I wanted back in the day that I just scraped to get, and I couldn't. And when it was gone, it was gone. I couldn't get it again.
Yeah.
So now I always say, I I'm y'all. I'm like, hey, cut out this light or take care of your stuff because I don't feel like buying this twice.
Yeah.
Like Jason, his iPhone case. You
I
know what I'm
still
saying?
have mine. Like that we have the same iPhone case.
So it's just the crazy shit, stuff like that. What now that the things that I can afford, like
Like the
so
iPad
yeah,
screen.
yes,
And it's
yes.
like,
I'm like I don't feel like buying this, right? I know I could get it, but I'm like no. I'm like no.
TBH,
So
the principle of broken electronics hit halfway when I was a kid, and then all the way like around this age, like when I started understanding like money and how it's very limited. And it was because I was like, if I'm playing my PlayStation and someone breaks it or something happens, I can't play it anymore. So I understood the principle of this is not going to work if something happens, and there probably won't be another one.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
you're not. It's not coming
yeah,
tomorrow.
but the principle of it, of how it costs money that comes from somewhere, that's like, if it's if the PlayStation is $200-300 and we only have like 750, that's 450 is like, I would rather have 750 and a completely okay and old PlayStation than a new PlayStation and 450. And so it's like, take care of your old and it'll work like brand new. It works for cars, works for
Yeah,
unless it's a point A to point B, don't even stress
yeah.
about that thing. Run it till the wheels fall off and then get you what you want. But yeah, it's like that. I think about that. I hope it's a Jay-Z quote. I hope someone didn't just say it and then said it was Jay-Z just so it would get more attention. Which, if they did, that's kind of a good strategy. But I still want to hear it from Jay-Z. Like, but yeah, like Jay-Z has been like mentoring Meek Mill. He said he got like some advice about things. Now he's a co-owner of Lids. But
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like everyone, Jay-Z seems to have the Midas touch when it comes to
Yeah,
hip hop artists.
I have been noticing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like I don't Russell Simmons type
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like I get that kind of vibe from him more than any other person in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So, good and bad, you know what I mean, but for the most part I appreciate um the fact of him even being like the Khalif Browder story. For him to be completely involved in that made me like, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Just appreciating the fact that that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in that position, that's what you Nas. That's what you're supposed to do. You get,
Yeah.
um, at least so. And I know they don't do it for that.
Yeah.
I know I can, if they are, they got me fooled.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know
the
what I mean?
same.
I'm completely like Allen Iverson. If you doing it for the fame or somebody, because I know it's a lot of Ti. All of them do stuff for their respective places, and I appreciate that because that's what that's definitely what I try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially with Toya working for the city and all that. Just being present for them.
Yeah.
So that's what you're supposed to do in that power, to give that example, to invest back into your whatever Deontay Wilder and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that from them,
Yeah.
and it let me know that all the grimy crap that people be saying or doing, or what I see and what the news I don't watch anymore, is still at the very bottom level. Is still good people, to invest in the world. It's still good people out there.
Yeah. I think yeah, it's very interesting to see um like Jay-Z in this time and era, because in a sense, like everyone everyone in the past 30 to 40 years has gotten a different Jay-Z every 10 years.
Yeah.
Because your Jay-Z is different from my Jay-Z, and my Jay-Z is different from this generation's Jay-Z. So every single one of us got a different Jay-Z. Even like my Jay-Z is different from Jakai's, which is different from Jace's, which is different from Carson's. And it's like, and
y'all know that even how, just basically Carson and Jace's Jay is with Beyonce.
Yeah.
My Jay is when they did the Bonnie and Clyde video. I know he was out there, Blue, excuse me, miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your name? I'm like, man, but my Jay is that Reasonable Doubt. That was the absolute hardest album for me doing for and no disrespect at all, was my big replacement, because I found somebody to fill that void, because I was like,
what now?
Yes, exactly. Yep. What I'm gonna do now? What we gonna do? And I'm not taking away. I told you I know and heard about Nas from when I was in college in Bloomfield.
Yeah.
Big Just and Jay, he same thing. When I heard that reason, I was like, whoa, okay, here we go.
Yeah. I guess it's like for anyone who needs a visual, it's like as far as albums, I'll put it like this. You'll go from The Blueprint to Watch the Throne to, as funny as this even may be, Magna Carta, and then 444. And those are the 4 different Jay-Z's that we all experience.
See, mine was Reasonable Doubt, and oh my God.
What did the Blueprint come out before or after Reasonable Doubt? Because
Reasonable Doubt was the first album.
Okay, so I'll say Reasonable Doubt, and then I'll say like,
mine is my bookends for Jay-Z is Watch the Throne was Kanye.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But heavy hitter Jay-Z, period, just all the ups and downs in his career, was Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z hip hop generation features, Big Pimpin', all that, to the Black Album.
Yes.
Instant 2 right there. I remember hearing Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt the first time, and I remember hearing the Black Album the first time. Everything in between that, you could go on Apple, Jay-Z, shuffle, go. It's nothing that I'm not gonna like. You know what I mean? It's nothing that would shuffle through. The only reason, like Big Juicy, that's the only thing I would fast forward. I would skip, because I heard it so many times.
Oh man,
it was like peanut butter and jelly.
I can still listen to that song and bop to it.
Yeah, like it took me a while to get back to listening to it on a regular basis, letting
check to see the things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I just man.
Yeah, Jay-Z's a great investor.
Yes.
I think that, like, if anyone wants to see how to invest in people, then watch Jay-Z. Like, and it's so funny because everyone's gonna be like, "No, watch this." I'm like, okay, you can have your own examples on your own time. If you want to see someone that everyone knows about, watch Jay-Z.
Yes.
And watch him, and even watch the time of the him and the Solange thing. Because it also proves that even investors can mess up.
Yes.
So you have to figure out also how you're going to come back from events like that.
And you know something? What I learned, and I think I did this more, probably with my own sister, is I don't know what was happening at the time, because I'm not really a big news person. But for the most part, I never heard him say anything.
That's the weirdest part about that.
I absolutely love it. Hey, I was because nobody's in that elevator and nobody know what happened between them three. That was a family event.
Yeah, it was like,
That was a very private family event. And just because it's him, but at the end of the day, son, he's still a person wherever that is.
mm-hmm.
He is a artist, so them people is weird in the first place. And I'm not saying that's weird as a bad thing because Rod called you about that. And no, I'm not saying weird as a person. You don't make two of them.
Yeah.
It's one person. That's probably one thing I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I didn't want to know about that. Even nosy people rubberneck. You cause slowdowns, you may cause another accident, and then you don't even be in the accident yourself. You'll cause something. No, man, stay in lane. I'm good. That's I mean, what I use that and say that because a specific thing happened to one of my closest friends. Very traumatic. Like, no way to get around it. Somebody said a rumor was put out there. Partly true, mostly sauce, but it is what it is. The person directly connected to that person comes to me and was like, "Oh, Jay, you ain't tell me, but did you know about this?" I said, "Yeah, I know about it. Did you? So, what's the deal?" I'm like, "Look, this is where I stand." I said, "I recently heard about this situation because of what you're saying to me right now. And the only reason why I know is because of what we're talking about at this time, what you just brought up.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard this story, love him no more or less. I said, but I wish I would have never heard it. People don't come back from stuff like that. And you heard your side. Yeah, whoever was presenting it, that's where that is three sides. They side, his side, and the truth. And I said, I heard all the sides. I was like, because when I first heard it, what was coming out, it didn't make sense. So I was just like, y'all say what you want, because I know this person. You know how something happened, and you were like, well, I got to hear from them, kind of thing, because that's not them. So I wanted what happened to lead up to it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wish I never know. That's how I'm. And you making your decisions on somebody, and you didn't go to that person. You don't do that. So I say that to say, Jay had whatever happened in that elevator with him, his wife, and his sister-in-law. Oh, dog, I'm glad you came. Y'all, everybody came out good on the other side eventually. If
Yeah.
it's still some animosity there, I hope everybody's forgiving everybody in the situation and move forward. But yes, boss, blessed.
Crazy.
And that's as I get older type thing, because I don't care who in that elevator. Back 20 years ago, I know I'm fighting you and your sister. Let Toya's sister put her hands on me. I know Toya, and Quanya is fighting in the elevator, or Toya and Nikki is fighting in the elevator, but I'm fighting now. No, absolutely not. Because
No.
when Donovan got hurt, who went to see him? Nikki, Toya's younger sister, called her up hysterical. She got in her car and drove an hour to Maryland. She ain't stopped until she was able to see Donovan and that's the one who took the picture holding his hand and how messed up he was. So that's fam. You know what I mean? So I say that to say, as I get older, what we did in the past don't matter.
Yeah.
Yes, it shaped us, and yeah, it's some scars there, but they heal, and that does not matter. The bigger picture is the group is going further than the single person moving really fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's I was about to say that's the T, but it's not the T. I don't even know what happened with the whole Beyonce Solange and Jay. But I think the best thing about that is that whether people know or not, but for what I know, no one still knows, and that's great.
That's yes,
Because they are probably one of the most public couples out there, and it's like, but to
public people everywhere. Like if something happened, guaranteed, and it made it they ain't even TMZ worthy no more. You get me? Like they would get it, but TMZ got bigger. But when you see somebody and they have international news, like whatever they do, hit CNN, and I tell you, I'm all about. I'm not local news type dude.
yeah,
I'm news that move money. If it's able to make some kind of, and I'm not a fundamentalist trader or anything. I'm a 90% technical trader. I got to see a pattern, but that's the news that makes stuff just move, and they do stuff. They move a
progress.
gauge. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that from anything. My kids could one day potentially be that far, get that big, or and now we have a blueprint of what it looks like.
Yeah,
A prominent, successful international couple live in America, from America, and they are making it,
mm-hmm.
doing well for themselves.
Yeah,
I was proud to see he hit a Billy. I was like, yeah. I'm sad to see Money Mayweather ain't make Forbes. I'm like, dude, what you doing?
well,
What
you live and you learn. You move.
Yes.
Move and maneuver. Now I'm learning more how to maneuver rather than move, because I've come to realize that every single time I move, something hits me. So now I have to maneuver because I'm tired of getting hit. I'm tired of knowing. I'm tired of not knowing and knowing who. I think it's worse not knowing who's gonna hit me, and then they hit me and then stare at me and then hit me again. I'm like, you really are bold, because
all day.
you forget that I cannot be in this hole forever. Something is going to happen to get me out of this hole. And the second I get out, I'm pushing you in this thing. I am pushing you. I'm not even going to kick the dirt. I'm just going to leave it there, just so you know. But yeah, investments are super important. That's what I think it's one of the takeaways from June for sure, is that investments are super important. I think that I definitely need to make more of them this year. Which is why, the whole thing with the studio, camera, switching over from digital to film, to really lock in, to, I guess, more so to, in a sense, to fall back to launch forward. Because now that I'm getting back into the creative space, I've started to realize, I'm like, not that I don't want to spend time editing, because I do. There's some things that I need to see it as I see it. And I think that digital's been weird, because it's like people have loved it. They love my work. And somehow, some way, what I see when I shoot film is what develops every time. And it's like, you see what, like, somehow, some way, you're seeing what I'm seeing. And it's weird to say, but it's like, I'm glad shooting it knowing that no one will understand what I mean. Because it's like, because I don't even know what's gonna, come out and whatnot. But it's like, whatever I shoot, it shoots what I see. When I shoot digital, it's the same way too. But I can tinker around with it.
Yeah.
But when I shoot film, I shoot exactly what I see.
That's it.
Oh, and also, here's a break. Thank you for also listening to the Breakers of Bread podcast. This is your host, Detavius Black, aka Knee Black. This is actually, so quick side. I'm gonna be making side notes. This is a real podcast, because I don't want y'all thinking that this is like super orchestrated.
No, you know what I want to do? We got the next session. Since we talking about it, the next session, we are gonna make up an intro and an outro.
Yes.
So it's going to be and if we come in with it, if we forget, that's what happened. That's it. That we gonna come up with a cool. I was thinking about that. Yep, a song of some sort. Cause I definitely wanna. So boom, bam.